What's up everybody, welcome back to the KastKing channel. I am the Hunter Fisher. Welcome back. I got a new video topic for you guys today. I actually suggest these two combos for a lot of your saltwater fishing. Now, what are these two combos? Let's dive into it. Now, first off, my favorite rod that I've actually ever used from KastKing is the KastKing Estuary Inshore series. These rods are not just like saltwater rods. These rods are super ideal for saltwater fishing and freshwater fishing. Now, this rod right here is a 7/6 medium rod that's a moderate fast action from KastKing. It's rated for 1/4 to 3/4 of an ounce, so it's perfect for a lot of your inshore purposes. Sometimes you'll want to use lighter, sometimes you'll want to use heavier. It depends on where you're fishing at. Where I'm going to be fishing at right now is actually northern Florida, so a lot of our redfish, a lot of our trout, this is actually right in the money for what I want to do. Even sometimes lighter. But down in South Florida, I like to use a little bit heavier than this. So an 8-foot rod with a little bit slightly heavier weight range, so I can cast those 1-ounce jig heads because there's a lot of current. But right where I'm at right now, the best general purpose rod, in my opinion, if you're fishing inshore flats, inshore estuaries, this rod is so versatile for that. And it can also do drop shotting techniques if you really wanted to with bass. It's a great shaky head rod. There's so much backbone in this rod, it's not even funny. But the reason why I love the KastKing Estuary Inshore rods is this right here. In my last video on the channel, I actually said how much I love the full grip rods that are offered through KastKing. This is another one of those because I love full grip. It's just one of the most things, it's one of those things in fishing that just makes the most sense. Like, why do you not have more full grip rods? The reason why people just they want a lighter rod. So sometimes they remove that full grip portion right there. Well, I want a more powerful rod. I want a more efficient rod. And hook setting with this rod is desirable. And this grip right here, instead of holding your hand like this, your hand will actually start to hurt after a while. It'll have a sore on your finger. So the best place to hold on this is actually right here. But this right here is the combo that I recommend for most inshore situations. A little bit lighter. And this is 7/6, like I said, but this reel is a 2500 size reel. Now, if you're gonna use this for general purpose, I would probably suggest going a little bit higher in size, probably a 3000 or maybe even a 4000. 4000 is it's almost unnecessary how much, like how heavy a 4000 reel is and how much line you would have. But this rod right here is super perfect for what I think you guys would want to use it for in the saltwater scene. 2500 size reel, 7/6 medium rod. That's a jerk shad on there actually, and I love it. It's great for these big trout that have been coming in over the summer where I'm at. So I've been killing it with that combo. But another combo that I absolutely love a ton is this combo right here. Another KastKing Estuary Inshore series rod. It is a 7/6 medium heavy casting rod. Now another full grip. You guys know me, I love my full grip. There's a lot of power behind this rod. This rod is almost even perfect for bass fishing, guys. I love using a chatterbait with this rod. Now I actually have, on that other rod I had 15-pound braid. On this rod I have 30-pound braid. This will be a little bit heavier. So if I'm throwing things like 1-ounce Carolina rigs with shrimp or maybe cut up crab, this is the combo I recommend a ton. This rod is a better sit and weight rod. The drag is super powerful on it, and it's really great for it. I'm not using a KastKing reel on here, unfortunately, just because I haven't really found the perfect KastKing reel to fit on this, but I'm still working on that. I'll have more on that to come, guys, eventually as I develop these combos more into what I believe is the best possible loadout for this right now. But I actually have a Corrado DC on here right now. It's great, but it's a little bit out of the range that I would recommend for you to spend on your first inshore combo. Now, what I would probably recommend as far as combo wise is actually going with the Crixus Armor X right now, just because the Crixus Armor X is more sealed, it's more saltwater capable, and it's a little bit more tougher when it comes to the saltwater scene. It's more capable of handling the, how do you say it, the salt, the sand, the water. There's just so much more factors environmentally that goes in the saltwater combo, so you need to be careful with the rods and reels you use. And that's why I always recommend good, just heavy rods like this one. This isn't a heavy rod, it's actually comparably light to a lot of other rods, but it's heavy duty in the fact that it doesn't get damaged. The guides are very supported by the thread they have on there individually. It's honestly one of my favorite rods that I've ever used in the industry right now. This extra grip, also a great fighting position, I guess the best way to say it. It's like will use this and you're not high sticking the rod to where the tip's going to break eventually. And the rod actually has a moderate fast action. If you can see here, it bends more towards the middle of the rod. The reason why that's better for the inshore purposes is because when you're catching larger fish that you'll often catch in saltwater, this rod will bend to the weight of that fish. So instead of it bending higher up and having less of a fulcrum to fight against the fish, where it's most likely going to break, you now have it further down the rod to where it's a little bit tougher and you can fight that fish with a little bit more power behind the rod. And now your rod is not as likely to break. Same thing with the other 7/6 KastKing estuary I showed you. It's also moderate fast. I always suggest a moderate fast action for saltwater rods. The reason why is just for the fact that it can handle bigger fish. Now that is both combos. You got 30-pound braid on here again, 15-pound braid on the other. This is a regular 150 size bait caster. I might recommend a little bit larger, like the Royale Legend 200. This rod, I always recommend a full grip just because it's a little bit better for fighting, but you can use a split grip if you want to. That's preference. Same thing with the other rod. Other rod is a 7/6 medium. It's a little bit lighter for as far as applications. It's a little bit heavier, but these are the only two rods that I say you need to get out there and go enjoy saltwater fishing. Now, these two rods have literally covered every single base that I've ever needed for inshore flats fishing. And if you guys have any questions about the rods or any gear in general that I recommend or suggest, I would really suggest you go down in the comment section, shoot me a comment, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or any recommendations I can give you for lures, knots, different things like that, just let me know. Also, another thing that I just thought about as I said that is leader line. Leader line, I would always recommend starting at about 15 pounds, if not heavier. 15 pounds is for those really finessey situations, so I would suggest starting out at 15 if you're really in a pressured area, if not 20, 25. So the highest I would ever recommend going, if you're fishing for snook, is the highest I recommend is 80. If you're fishing for tarpon, don't even use these combos. That's a whole different video in itself. But I want to say thank you again to KastKing for having me on the channel. I want to say thank you again for guys for watching. If you want to check out any of the gear that I recommended today down in the comment section below, I would love to talk more about it down in the comment section too. If you guys enjoyed the video, let KastKing know in the comment section and press like on the video and go check out the products down below, the links down below in the description. Thank you again, and I'll see you at the next video.